Hi there! This is going to be a post-commentary video of every single Platform Racing 3 campaign level. This was for the 2025 Speedrun Contest, and the information on the sides and the top right should be as obvious as they can be. The lower left is the hat I'm wearing with the information on what it does. They're like little passive abilities you get that you can wear for your avatar. The right side is going to be the level title, level creator, and the top 3 times if they're applicable. And up on the right on the screen there is going to be my ending time. So, this level, the sets of levels that I'm going through here are all tutorials to the basic mechanics of Platform Racing 3. You see, these items are all preset, but once you get near the end of the level, then they become completely randomized. And I was lucky enough to get a pair of angel wings, and those are one of the strongest power-ups that you can get as a leading player in first. It breaks so many levels, you have no idea. But you'll see an example right here actually. If you have low acceleration, you just fly! And I barely miss those, I barely avoid those safety nets, which respawn you if you hit them. Respawn you to the last safe place. Now, the level creator here, Claire Hoff, originally came from Platform Racing 2, most iconic for their Titanic-themed levels. That's some pretty good art, and this person does not miss with this level. Now, I do a little strat here, and just barely clip over a bunch of those decorative elements. They're meant to slow you down, so that you slowly go through each cylinder one by one. And you don't get a visual for their hitboxes too. But I just got that out of miracle, and I think that was world record too, which is cool. This level also got completely broken. You're supposed to get a teleporter, then use it on the left over there. Then you go through an entire adventure flipping gravity, because that was the gimmick of this, and you hit the blue gem there to go back to normal gravity. But with the Parasol Hat, you can just glide through everything, and with that head glitch mechanic there, you're just able to do that for basically free. Now, this is hilarious. This level is the only level in the campaign made by the creator himself, Jigman. Now, Canyon Rush is just either you get angel wings or you get the jetpack. And you'll see here with my character, I changed my head, torso, and shoe options a couple times. And I'll explain why a little bit later. But yeah, these player names are going to be a little iconic for some people who have been around for a long time. T-Pones was known for a ton of challenge levels in Platform Racing 2 called Trap Work, where if you fail the challenging segment, you are stuck forever. So you're basically soft lock and you have to restart the level. And it was nuts. And yeah, you'll see here that a lot of early game levels in this campaign and video mostly come from Platform Racing 2. Now, just to give a little bit of backstory, since this is a very slow level for me, let me think here. Jigman hosted a campaign level submission contest back in, I think it was 2011 or 2010. And it was to make a full campaign with all of the parts that you could unlock for getting gold medals and whatnot, which was the unlock system for playing single player. So you get a lot of variety from both really talented, really skilled artists and others that are new and up and coming. And then, okay, this is hilarious. You don't see any of the invisible ground, but an angel wing is all you need at the start of the level to just completely break it. It's crazy. And this one, I don't know how Camera the Dragon did it. I tried everything to optimize the movement, but it's just as optimized as it can get. And this one is just, I couldn't do it fast enough. It's really precise. You need an exact specific set of stats, like speed, acceleration, and jump. Those all affect your character in different ways. A lot of people run like a high speed, low acceleration build with higher jump. And, okay, this is the only time you ever see Pet Rock in this video, I think. It might be once or twice, but that is the one time you see Pet Rock, I believe. And this is also the first time we get to see Rocket Hat. And this will come into play a little bit later, but I just want to say that Duttony's published Pier 2 levels show that he might have come from Platform Racing 3 first, and came back, or tried Platform Racing 2 second. I can't be too sure, but this is just broken. How did I jump that? How did I jump that completely? How did I skip over an entire mountain? Well, that's very simple. The first charged super jump you get is souped up. It's really good, and Rocket Hat lets you jump across, I think, over 20 blocks. Now, this level used to be very challenging, very difficult, because it's got a bunch of hazards, and it goes from like a day and night transformation. And funnily enough, to my surprise, this came from somebody named Final Cheetah, who was originally named Pounce in the Platform Racing 2 community, whose iconic level is Volcanic Inferno in the Pier 2 campaign. And Final Cheetah wanted to make several levels for Platform Racing 3, ended up in campaign, and I gotta say, there's some that are really good, and others that are a little bit challenging, I'll put it lightly. But yeah, you see those safety nets, I just completely ignore those. I'm just able to jump past them, move on, and even here, this is supposed to turn into a falling platform at some point, which prevents me from doing this strategy here, skipping the entire segment below, just moving on, going to the side, head glitch over here, and just skip the entire last portion of the level. It's beautiful. Now this I almost got. I wanted to get the world record for this in 2025, but it's just too difficult. You have zero acceleration here, high jump, high speed, and as it says here on the left, this strategy is tough because you need to get hit by a mine and then have another mine push you back so that you can get the angel wings again, which replenishes the pair. So this is probably going to be obvious to many people, but this is Marble Garden Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Genesis. The strategy here is not far off from, I guess, breaking the game normally in Sonic. I don't know. But the idea here with Rocket Hat is that I'd super jump over everything in the level and use a speed burst, which boosts you forward to skip the safety nets there, and then just go over to the finish block. There you go, as simple as that. So this I barely got world record for. This, you need a pair of angel wings, and that is pure RNG whether you get them or not from a random item box. And I'm running a very low acceleration build, so I just get to shoot forward, just fly forward, then hit these crumble blocks and hit the finish. Now this level also has a lot of RNG, which means like you need the super jump power up to get a good time on here, and if you don't, well, it's cooked. You can't get world record if you don't have the super jump power up. And I'm definitely skipping a lot of this level here with bullhorns, since they boost me forward the longer I hold forward, or like right or left, and give a direction. And these are rotate blocks that turn your gravity around. And then you see right here, I just skipped everything like I'm using the Rocket Hat. Now this is a terrible time. I did not want to optimize it because I thought it was just too frustrating for me. So I'll spend this time to talk about the level creator, who is, I believe, one amazing man. It's a hilarious name, but this person was from Platform Racing 2 as well, best known for his don't move levels, which were a very popular level genre in platform racing 2. And honestly, the one that's at the top of the list is not half bad. I'm actually quite impressed. And you'll see a couple other levels from this player too in Classic Campaign. And you'll see some amazing stuff. This is a little bit nutty for a Platform Racing 3 level. The level creator, I'll just nickname Poos, was very well known, a household name I'd even say, in the Platform Racing 2 community for a campaign level called Storm, Pickle Land, and Wasteland, to name a few. And this level does not disappoint in quality, because that's what Poos' art or levels were definitely best known for, as well as level design, I'd say. But yeah, this level you get to skip it with Santa Hat, which with Santa Hat you freeze all blocks you stand on, including safety nets. So you could just ignore those and skip to the finish. So this next level is from Thanatos, and I think they were known for their don't move level as well in Platform Racing 2. So there's a hilarious amount of people who have come from Platform Racing 2 to Platform Racing 3. It makes sense. It makes sense because how a lot of people came from one game to the next. But this level also has RNG involved, which kind of sucks, honestly. But I got the jetpack here, which let me skip a majority of the level as you saw in the start. And I believe this was world record, I think, for 2025. This is a really good time. I didn't look at the information on the right. But yeah, you can conserve jetpack fuel by jumping and tapping the space bar or your item button shortly after, which gets you a great amount of vertical velocity. Now this level, the level creator here, I'll talk about in a minute, but Candyland 2, well, where's Candyland 1? That came from a Platform Racing 2 campaign level named Candyland. I'll put the level creator for that level on screen. But I just want to talk about this strategy, where you have to hold forward for a fairly long period of time and make sure you don't hit any walls, conserve jetpack fuel, which is RNG, by the way. You need that. And I'll talk about, I'll still talk about a speed lightning in a moment, but it is so precise. You need jetpack. And if you get speed burst, if you get angel wings, well, that's terrific. You save a whole bunch of time, but you also need jetpack. So you'll see a lot of RNG in classic levels, which is unfortunately a really huge reason why a lot of people don't run them. But I'll finish this off with saying the creator of Candyland 2, Speed Lightning, made a long series of levels in Platform Racing 2 called 100 Rooms. And I don't think they got a whole lot of plays at all, but they were really fun from what I've played. I really enjoyed it. Now, the level creator here, Tendus, is most known for the recreation of City Escape from Sonic Adventure 2 in Platform Racing 2. And I could definitely tell that Tendus' art has improved significantly from one game to another. Obviously, a lot of people who played Platform Racing 2 were in their youth, so a fair amount of Platform Racing 3 levels here you see are basically their art evolving as they grow up, which is really cool. I really like that. But yeah, with Santa Hat and this shield power-up, I'm just able to avoid most of the hazards with ease. And then get rid of this vanish block over here. And now we get Blue Construction Zone, which is a fun level of Top Hat. And it's quick and easy. Now the top hat lets you go through advantage blocks and crumble blocks, which you just saw a couple seconds prior. And I would say that this level is pretty optimized, heavily optimized I'd say. So I didn't get a terrific time, but I got something that was satisfactory. Now this is terrific. I'm a big fan of this level. Unfortunately, it requires a lot of RNG to break it, of course, because I got angel wings and I just used those. And then I got a teleport. So not only do you need one item out of a large list of other items, you need two. You need two of them to get the best time. Why do you need teleport, you may ask? Well, there's a lot of safety nets across the Santa Hat. So using a teleport lets me skip a barrier there. Now, I think I have information on this player. The only thing I know about Kelgus is that they made a lot of test levels in Platform Racing 2. It might be a different person, but the years kind of match up with the date, or year rather, this game came out, 2010. And I have to say, I really like the level art. This is, I wouldn't say simplistic at all. I'd say that the shading on blocks and stuff is quite interesting, actually. Now, I haven't mentioned this yet, but the creator Luna Nova, I don't know if they originally came from Platform Racing 2 or not. There's a song titled Prismatic by someone named Luna Nova, and I'm not sure if they're the same person. Someone can correct me in the comments or somewhere else. But on a side note, this level gave me nightmares as a kid. I think it scared a lot of youth when they played this. And oh yeah, there's a pretty huge epilepsy warning coming up pretty soon. So if you don't want your eyes to bleed, just skip that. Because this is World of 3D Illusionating. It is, sorry, it is a terrible level. For the sake that it's like a health hazard and very, I would say, simplistic in art. I'm surprised Jigman approved of this, but nonetheless, the movement is decently fun in some parts. As you'll see, there's a couple of things that, well, I don't know, this is a very basic level, but there's only a couple parts that I really like. So, I don't really know a whole lot on what to say about this level. I think I'm wearing the mining helmet in this Bit Rate Crusher. No, I'm wearing bullhorns. No, I'm wearing bullhorns. I remember that. So, I think I'm nearing the end of the level here. Yep, okay. Alright, you can look now. Okay, Cloud 9 is one of my favorite levels in Classic Campaign. Not because of the strategy, but because it's just a really fun way to use Angel Wings. But with the Rocket Hat, you can sequence break the whole thing. You can just avoid the entire level, as per usual, and just go from one level to the next. Now, this strategy here with the propeller hat, I don't think is optimal, but I just wanted a decent time, like at least third place time for this. So that's what I did. And fun fact, the person who made this level, I believe, has a video of themselves making this same level on YouTube. If I manage to find it, I'll put it in the description of the video. I can definitely tell that this is like someone just assembling stuff together for the fun of it. But it's cool. It's definitely a relic of its time. And this level is terrific. It's still gated by RNG. You gotta get the right items to get a good time. And I got Jetpack, which is all I need for this level. Like I said earlier, with the technique of just jumping and tapping space right away, lets me get a lot more height than usual, as you see here. And then the top hat lets me go through all of these crumble blocks, which if you bump into them or touch them, they get destroyed, or have a little bit of health until you hit him enough times. But yeah, it's really cool watching these levels be played back after some time. It's been almost a year since I did this. It's a little crazy. And this section right here, these are arrow blocks that are pushing you right and pushing you left. You don't have any indicators for that. You just gotta know. Which is definitely something like a level design trope that I'm glad is gone from Platform Racing 3. Because that was not fun. But besides that, we're going to the next level here. By Twyland, the White Sun. They are most known for their Platform Racing 2 campaign level First Frontier, which I think gets remade in PR3 campaign much later. I could be wrong, but it's either First Frontier or Creacious Race. It was probably Creacious Race. But this strategy with the Magna Hat is hilarious. I feel like that went without saying. And this is Doodle Jump. I'm sure some people know of this game. It used to be a mobile game. And somebody remade it in Platform Racing 3. It's a fun time! It's simple too. And this is one of the first times, I think, that we see the bounce hat. Which should go without saying. Now, this level, I'm so happy I got world record for this. This was really fun to do. And I'll just add a little bit of a fun fact here. Razorblade was originally a Platform Racing 2 campaign level as well, which got remade into Platform Racing 3 and this is significantly different than the one in Platform Racing 2. You gotta use a sword to go through some bombs, use Top Hat to phase through crumble blocks as per usual, and I'd say that this is a decently optimized time, personally. I think my favorite level is coming up soon. One of my favorites in campaign. Could tell. But regardless, this is just scaling up a ship, hitting a teleport block. It has fun movement. It's good. It's cool. And playing this level in multiplayer though must be very frustrating. Getting hit by swords all the time. But good thing in single player that doesn't happen. And now, I present to you a really optimized time. Rainbow Road by Devious Shadows. I got the right RNG to get a set of angel wings after the one I started with. And I just rocket forward. It's great. And even though I hit the wall here and fall, I gotta say, it's pretty fun. It was pretty good. It was pretty cool. Now, this level is really optimized. You need a speed burst to a teleporter to get a good time on this level. And I managed it. I managed to get it, and I managed to beat Lebmont, which I was very surprised of, because it was very ridiculous to me personally. Now, this level, it's gonna take a while, but this also involves a little bit of RNG. Thankfully, you only need one item for this. It is a jetpack. And with the Top Hat again, you're phasing through a bunch of blocks. You'll notice that the darker piece of dirt there is the one that's crumble blocks, and I just phase through those. And yeah, no, I'm just going through. So, there's not only race levels in Platform Racing 3, there's also a couple of game modes like Deathmatch, King of the Hat, a couple of modes like that. And it's great. There's a lot of people who make Deathmatch levels now compared to race, and I honestly miss races. Race levels have been cool, I'd say. But regardless, we might see a resurgence of race levels. And this one, a lot of people are often frustrated with because of these cycles. Cycle hazards, the fireballs there. They're desynced in the replay, but they move up and down. And it often gets people, it often trips people up. And honestly, after learning about them, they're not too bad. Then we're rising up to the volcano. And after that, we hit top. And then I just finish the level, which is a little bit to the left. So yeah, this next level also involves RNG. But the level itself isn't too bad, it's pretty short. Now, this one, you need the top hat for phasing through a couple vanish blocks, and a speed burst to get through this underwater section a lot faster. Now, I was a little frustrated with this level because of a section that's coming up pretty soon, and I just wanted to have a decent time. That was it. So I was happy with what I got, and I just moved on with it. But the level art is really good. I really like the atmosphere here. And while the spikes are a little difficult to see, someone who's played the level a whole lot will tell you, oh, well, these are not bad at all. You just gotta have the eyes to see, bro. But no, it's a little challenging for your first go around. And this could have been a super jump power-up, I believe, which would have let me hit the finish block immediately. But enough of that. This is another one of my favorite levels by MF Eclipse. Now, I'll talk a little bit about this player because they have made several Platform Racing 2 campaign levels in the past, and was most well known for Platform Racing 2's Urban Race and Fantasy Race. Actually, I don't think Fantasy Race is in the Platform Racing 3 campaign. I know that they were most known for their campaign levels and Fantasy Race. And also, I think either pioneered or was a part of the Red versus Blue levels, which was a level genre that was also really popular in Platform Racing 2's prime. Now, about this level, this one is really fun once you understand where you gotta go. And I have to say, the art quality is spectacular too. I may have missed the exit, but that happens. And I think this is one of the few levels by Overbeam, who's also very well known for being a pretty good artist and also making pretty good levels. Overbeam is very well known for, I think, making different alts in Platform Racing 2, making good quality levels, and is still active to this day. He's most known for the Luna Temple version 3 level in the campaign. And about this level, this one I think has been pretty optimized. Obviously there's some stuff to still improve on, but I'm really happy with how this turned out in the end. Just hitting teleport blocks, making sure to avoid all of the hazards, and having the bullhorns to just save time on traversing the level. And I think this is one of the first instances that you'll see a zipline. And these are in a couple levels. They're good fun, I really like them. So, next I think is Build to the Top. Yeah, this is a hilarious level. It's completely desynced, but the item boxes you get, the items you receive, are portable blocks. Which, okay, well, the text there on the bottom right spoke for itself. This person is most known for their challenge levels in Platform Racing 2, Trap Work level. And this level here from Overbeam is a play on special effects that were used in Platform Racing 2, now done in Platform Racing 3. There are these little tricks you can do with the level editor. I'm gonna take a quick sip of water here. I have to call that segment the FNAF World bit, because it's got a very similar visual style. Now, this player is also known in Platform Racing 2 for their trap work levels. A fair amount of people here, actually, have made those challenge levels before. Now, time circuits? Oh boy! Let me tell you a story about time circuits. This level, I think, used some speed hat, I forget, and now uses bounce hat for a hilarious reason. Now, I'll just quickly say that this strategy was found by none other than Ring Racers Pro Rayup. By just casually playing through the level, finding out that this segment here can be skipped with his hat, and you just save, I think, about 2 minutes by just using bounce hat. It's hilarious! It's amazing! It's amazing how much time was saved from a discovery made by a player who hardly even played the game. But I'm really happy that Ring Race's player discovered a strategy in a now 15-year-old game. Now for this level, this one was really optimized. Like, very optimized. With Santa Hat, obviously you're avoiding hazards, but the movement, all the micro optimizations with saving time on like fast falling on platforms and then swimming up the ladders as fast as possible. And this segment, avoiding the secret spikes that you can't see until you hit them, it's brutal. But I'm really happy with how this level turned out. There's gonna be a fair amount of world records of mine here. Some were broken before the level contest, sorry, there were some that were broken before the speedrun contest ended, but I'll probably list the amount that have become world records in the description, and probably in the thumbnail, I'll see. But this strategy with the Santa Hat lets you skip all of this platforming by just using an up arrow block and just showing up, just jumping up on the spikes. Now this level, oh man. A lot of people are frustrated with this one, but I would have to say that the level is pretty great up until the end. This hat, it should be going without saying, is really great because there's a lot of rotate blocks. And this segment right here is a blind jump. That one, you just have to know it. And in this level, Final Cheetah makes a couple of callbacks to a Platform Racing 2 level of theirs, which was Volcanic Inferno, as I've mentioned earlier. And you will see it right here. This chandelier segment was used in a couple of Platform Racing 2 campaign levels, but was definitely utilized here. People thought that Top Hat was the best because you avoid all the vanish blocks, but with enough speed, with enough good movement, I think Fez Hat takes the cake here. But yeah, this level is definitely like the hat factory of Platform Racing 3. Even though Hat Factory by Jigman was not a challenge in your understanding of the game at that point, this level certainly does. There's a lot of moving parts with swimming, with vanish blocks. But yeah, a lot of the classic campaign levels' creators have lost their levels to time because the servers for Platform Racing 3 originally were shut down until the game was brought back up by somebody named ISO Kisa. And now the game lives on which is terrific. I'm happy for it. And somehow, because of the mobile version of Platform Racing 3, the campaign levels were kept. They were archived. So, get to see all the blocks and all the levels. And now we're done with the classic campaign. So, what do I mean by that? There's 3 different level packs, I could say. One is classic, which is all the ones from original Platform Racing 3. This one, that was made a little bit after Platform Racing 3 Reborn was made, and then one that was made in 2022. Now, this level has been optimized to the core as well, as you can see. And this level was made by Dr. Mario 98, who's also known for his trap work levels, not in Platform Racing 2, but in Platform Racing 3. And now, at this point, I will be abbreviating the names of both games to PR2 and PR3. So, I probably could have mentioned this 36 minutes earlier, but another version of this video without my commentary can be found in the description. Now, oh my goodness. I'm so glad. I think I found out this strategy with Bounce Hat. I could be wrong, but being able to use Bounce Hat to skip the entire level is just hilarious. And also getting the head glitch there too. Oh my goodness. Now, this is a Starfy level by Decade Decaf, who's, I think, known for a lot of games in Game Jam competitions, and also made a bunch of Starfy levels in Platform Racing 3, was also a developer for Platform Racing 3 Reborn, which is great. Now, here I use the strategy again of using a pair of Angel Wings and then getting hit to get another, and that saves so much time. Now, this hat is not optimal for this level, but I used it so I can get more attempts in. And the creator of this level is Danjavin, who is a admin for PR2, I believe, who also made a bunch of levels in PR2, and made a few for PR3 as well. And this one is relatively simple, I would say. It's just a single item platform challenge. This segment used to trip me up a lot, and for some people, this upcoming section tripped them up a whole lot, because it's right arrows next to ice. And if you fall, you respawn on the ice, which just makes you slower. So, I can understand why it's a problem for some people. Now, Lone Wolf is a really fun level by Duffley, who is also a Peer 3 admin, I think developer for Peer 3. I could be wrong about that. I'm probably wrong about that one. Duffley is known for a lot of, I think, art, like good artwork race levels, some joke ones as well, and also for a level genre called rollers. Now, before I get into that, I hit the water there to put a checkpoint so that when I hit the safety net, I respawn right under the water, and then I can just teleport, hit the rotate block, get the next thing, and then finish the level. So, roller levels are long, egregious, intentionally annoying levels that take up your time and is meant to waste your time. It's a joke level genre. Now, this level is really unfortunate that it got found to be skippable with Rocket Hat, because Rocket Hat has broken so many things in Peer 3 campaign. It's really sad for me personally, because there's a lot of really good levels that just get broken by this one hat, because there's a lot that goes on in a Blaze this level prior that you just won't see anymore. But regardless, you also see that you skip the entire level here too with Rocket Hat. It's broken so many things, but I won't complain about it anymore. It is what it is. Rocket Hat could be a new addition, could break a lot of levels, but hey, we get faster times, and that's cool. This level has caused some players I know a lot of trouble with a mandatory head glitch. And I think I said it earlier, but I'll mention it again. A head glitch is when the top half of your character phases through anything and everything. And this is utilized a lot for a lot of levels now, because instead of it being a glitch, it's an intentional mechanic that people still call a glitch because there is no other term coined for it. Now, I think this is the last time I need to mention, if a top hat user is phasing through a bunch of blocks, they're either crumbles or vanishes. Now, it's finally time to mention that I went through a set change here, a clothing change for my avatar. And these are representative of the different eras of Platform Racing 3. Because I had the set from the first batch of levels when I first got back into playing this game with the Stray Banana Discord, who originally just gathered for SRB2 kart events as well as ring racers. But this era in Classic Campaign 1, this is meant to represent when I initially got back to playing Pure 3 after the Flash game, the Adobe Flash engine shut down, which was sometime in 2023 that I came back. It was, I think it was after summer of 23. So this is like a combination of both new and old with the platypus head, which I used a lot with Stray Banana, and a couple of new things. So enough talk about that. Let's talk about the level. And it's about to end pretty soon, but this is LP9's first showing of a Pure 3 campaign level, which is really good level art, and a sequence break broke a couple things here. As well as this level that lets you get a happy block, increasing your stats. Now, there's no way I can jump over this wall, right? It even says in the text, nope! Nope! I just get to skip that entire segment. Thank you, Rocket Hat. You're so cool. So, besides that, after skipping 3 large chunks of the level, the rest you actually have to play properly. And this is where I screw up a little bit with movement. And I'm okay with it, because I at least got a time that qualified for points. So that's fine. So with that said, we'll be seeing a couple more levels from Deathly in the near future. And for now, I'm going to take another sip of water. Gotta stay hydrated. Especially when you're talking on the microphone for 2 hours. So, this next level, Treehouse Race, the level creator was most known for their popular level, need I say, Random Race in Platform Racing 2, and is still active in Platform Racing 2. I wonder if they'll ever come back to Pure 3 one day, because they made some pretty good levels, I have to say. And with Magnet Hat here, you can skip a whole lot of platforming challenges. It makes the level a lot easier. It also lets you skip bits and pieces, like right here. And at least it isn't as broken as Rocket Hat, I'll say that. But regardless, Magic Pillow, the level creator here, made the challenging level called Through Heck, which unlocks pieces of a specific set in Pure 3. And it's really difficult too. So if you ever want to get a couple of Pure 3 parts, but want a really good challenge in doing so, well, you got your level here. And this level used to have a Santa hat strategy, where you just go over all the safety nets that's above the level to finish it a lot quicker, but that got patched. So now, we're using Magnet Hat. We're still skipping a couple things, but we can't skip everything. So, the pink block is a bounce block, the orange blocks hurt, and the rest should speak for themselves. And the movement here is pretty good, I have to say. I'm pretty happy with what I did here. Even though I slowed down just a little bit to avoid hurting the player near the end. Getting hit in this game loses you a lot of time. But enough about that. Walking on the meadow, I found the strategy myself, and I'm happy I got the world record for it, but I'm not happy that I skipped the entire piece of a level right there. That saves at least 20 seconds, I think. 15, I could say 15 maybe. But it saves you enough time to convincingly take world record for me here. Because now after that, the rest of the level is about movement, which is tough. This level is actually quite challenging, even though it looks all friendly, bubbly, and, you know, welcoming. You have to barely adjust to avoid hitting spikes, to avoid hitting safety nets. There's a lot to this level, and I'm just pretty happy that I got the time I did in the end. I'm probably not going to optimize this anytime soon, but I'm happy with what I did. Now I could say this. I'm pretty happy with how I played this level. This is a convincingly good time for 2025's Speedrun Contest. And the level creator, Justin Bob 100, is someone who made a ton of Pier 2 levels, who was well known for the level Cavernous. That was part of the Pier 2 campaign. And I believe it was that level that gets remade in Pier 3 campaign a little later. So, with all the sequence breaking there, I want to say none of that matters, because you got to get that specific cycle at the end with the move blocks and the spikes raising up. Which is unfortunate, because this level's movement looks great, it looks optimized, except that part, that could be worked on a little bit. And all of that just goes to waste because of one single cycle. No matter how fast you go, that's one of the few pace locks in this game. Now, this, I think it shows an example of the level gimmick being synchronized. Yeah, there it is. Now, I want to say that Tungster, for the lack of a better term, is known for very experimental levels. But I have to say, a level that he has later on called Clock Towers, or I think Clock Tower, that has got to be his best, one of his best main race levels. But my personal favorite is a level called Healthy Bomb Worlds. You should give it a try. Now, enough about that. This level's gimmick is switch blocks, or change blocks, which you saw there earlier. And I have to say, this level is very challenging. More on the frustrating side, I'd say. But Magnet Hat makes this level a lot easier. And I just patiently wait for the lasers to hit the bricks, then hit the up arrow block, and then teleport here, and the level's almost over. Not quite. I have to make sure I don't hit those hazards there, and then finish the level, I think, shortly after. No, there's more level left. But this, using the Magnet Hat here, helps me skip a lot of those cycles. That's what it's mainly used for. So, getting near the end of the level here, I think. Yeah, there we go. Nearing the end over here. And now we're entering Dark World by Gaster Skyraw. Gaster Skyraw has a pretty large history when it comes to Pure 3 levels. It shows how he's evolved both as an artist and a programmer, because there's going to be some levels later on that my goodness, sorry, side tangent, that strategy is so difficult. It's barely as I say, it's almost like frame perfect to position perfect. Like, you have to get it very exact, otherwise you're not going to be able to skip that part of the level. And then everything else is just performance. Like, do your best. And I don't do too great here, performance-wise. But I get the strat, I get the trick. And that saved me just enough time to, I think, get over Nudie's time. But going back to it, Gaster has a lot of Lua-based levels that are going to be later on in the video. And also just in his standard race and deathmatch levels. He made WarWare Enigma, he made Worms Armageddon, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good, I have to say. So, yeah. Like I said, half this level is just getting that trick correct, and then the rest is just optimizing movement for the finish, which obviously I did not do very well, because all I did was that trick there. But besides that, I think this is a really good level. It's really fun. I just sort of wish that it wasn't gated to that one specific strategy. So this level, I'd say I like the homage. I like how it's really accurate to Windows 95's interface. But besides that, the level is very challenging to anybody new to PR3. I will just take another sip of water. Gotta remain hydrated. Okay, so this upcoming section that's coming soon is gonna be a little interesting, to say the least. Oh, the camera jitter there. That I forgot. Okay, it's coming up. This used to be in, not used to. This is in Hat Factory as well. These falling and warnings signs telling you to avoid the hazards, and you get to see it here too. And then you wait, drop into the water, then you go through this super jump segment, which I don't do very well in, but by the end I get my bearings up and I improve on the ending segment, which you'll see here. Like, right as I'm hitting the item block, I'm getting a super jump out of the way, and then the end of the level is nearby. I use the up arrow block and super jump at the same time, and then I speed over to the finish. Now, this is, I think, the only level that Pet Squid gets used in, and this is a strange gravity-based level. You're always rising up, so there's no basic left, right, jump, super jump. It's all pure movement. And something tells me that this Half-Light fellow might be an alt account, because the art is really good, and this is the only published level by them. But enough of that. Check that skip. I just saved a whole lot of time by doing what looked like nothing. So this is where the squid hat comes into play, because you get a lot of speed underwater and you don't fall or sink in any way, so you're just going in at full speed. And it's worth mentioning that when you're underwater, I believe it uses your acceleration stat to move you across. And hey, look at that! Final Cheetah made a level in Pier 3 Reborn. Is one of the few who came back from Pier 3 Original to make a level for the Reborn campaign. And this one is pretty alright. I'd say it's pretty good for a single player race level. And the reason why I picked the rocket hat instead of something like bullhorns is for a trick that I wanted to do at the very end that I think could potentially get world record. Wasn't able to do it here, but I'm pretty sure that it has the potential. I believe it has potential. I know it does. I'm sure it does. Maybe it does. Maybe someone that's really good at the game could probably give this trick a shot. And it's right here. You immediately super jump to the nearest bounce block and then you skip this entire segment. And the same kind of alternate account theory I have. I believe Regresso also might be an alt account because the level art's really great. It's honestly like very ambitious. And this level's a long gauntlet of challenges that you are timed for. And if you're not fast enough, you play a slower version, like you go on a slower part of the level. And this is also one of the first times that photosynthetic hat's used. And this hat upgrades your stats every 10 to 11 seconds, and those increment by 1 after you get a stat boost. So it becomes longer and longer each time you get stats. But it's great because it's a 4-minute level, for me anyway. So that's a lot of stats you can get. And I think they overcharge, so you can get above 100. But yeah, if you make a mistake here at any point, there's a world of hurt coming your way. And before you get to the harder part of the level, there's these eyes here. And these hurt you. These cause damage. So I was very careful when traversing this area so that I don't lose my hat or be put in hit stun. And I get through here. And if you're not fast enough, the eyes close and that bridge there disappears. And you have to go through this very long, slow section. And now this is where I'm not fast enough anymore to get the second shortcut. But barely getting the super jump to Angel Wing there. Then flubbing a little bit over here. Getting hit by that mine. So now I'm locked to the slower segment of this level. And honestly, I'm okay with this. Because I already had a pretty satisfactory time with this level. I could probably do better, but if anyone's played Ring Racers, it's the main videos in my channel right now. This is the equivalent to Death Egg for me in Pier 3. If I make one little mistake, it's kind of over for me, and I no longer want to play the level. But it's a really fun one. It's really good, and the art is spectacular. Like that, I have to say. Like even though I have my gripes with this level, with this difficulty, it is very rewarding. Because there's a lot of you can see it too. There's a whole lot of movement. There's a lot of quick acting platforming. Like you have to be confident. You have to be confident that you're landing on the right place, not getting hit by any of the hazards as well. I think they're all static. I don't think there's any moving ones. The only thing that's moving is this segment that's coming up where eyes are opening and closing, being used as platforms. And these desynchronize. It's meant to be the open eyes that let you stand on them. But this journey up to the top there is used for this segment to get a teleporter, then get to this area here. And after this, you get the shield, then you got this little super jump challenge over there, super jump theory. Someone might get that reference. And we're nearing the end here. It's we're almost nearing the end of the level here. But one day, I'll get to the fast path on in this level. It'll be the first time I'd ever do it too, because I haven't gotten one successful attempt yet. And hey, I didn't know this. We were playing Platform Racing 4. That background looks very familiar. Well, it's time for my all-time favorite level in Platform Racing 3. This is also a long level, a very long level, but I honestly am always happy playing this level at any point. And having bullhorns here just let me shoot across the entire lake. And the reason why this is one of my favorite levels is because the level art is one. Level art's really good. It's got to be one of LP9's best works for Platform Racing 3 in general. It's got, I think I can have an argument that this is one of the most high-effort art levels in Reborn Campaign 1. I was really happy with this, and one might say that this level is getting remade someplace else. Anyway, this bridge is tough. This bridge is problematic. But besides that, I finally used the speed burst to traverse this segment a lot quicker because I'm underwater. Want to save time on that, right? And this spike section is brutal if you're a first-time player. The blue spikes hurt you and you lose your hat, but the ones with red at the tip there respawn you. And you might not notice that immediately. You also might not notice those mines immediately. Those are completely blind! But yeah, regardless, I really like this level. The cave segments are often the part I struggle with, because there's not respawn down there. No, you're getting sent all the way back to the start of that cave area at the bottom. But after that, oh, it's great. It's lovely again. And I get this speed burst, and I'm holding this until the end of the level. And unfortunately, I hit the spikes twice, but it's okay. I still got the best time for the speedrun competition, so you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm happy with it. This is also a bunch of blind drops, which is a little unfortunate. But after that, clip through that, jump over here, barely avoid the spikes, get hit by that one unfortunately, and I think this is where I just let go of the bullhorns. I could be wrong, I think I get hit another time. I just say, ah, screw it, I'll let it go. I have my speed burst with me. And this, I think a lot of people, most of the people who don't like this level is for the cave segment. Because a lot of the outdoor areas, or not outdoor areas, a lot of the outside areas are, like, I'd say jaw-dropping for a Flash game visual made by someone who just made this in their free time for the fun of it, you know? And it's very inspiring to me, that's what I gotta say. So, this segment here, I'm making it look really easy, but I'm telling you, when you have stat boosts, and you have your jump set super high, since that's what you gotta do for this level, this is the scariest part by far. It's a miracle I did not get hit once there. Because just one small mishap on how high you're jumping, and immediately you get hit by that spike, you lose your hat, you lose in 2 seconds, like over here, and then you gotta jump again. You gotta somehow avoid the next set of spikes. But besides that, the end of the level is really nice. You just use a speed burst to jump across here and jump all the way down into this lake. Man, those clouds look gorgeous. So after this, I believe, is the first instance of the bandana hat that you'll see here. And I'll get another sip of water. I'm a little thirsty. The bandana hat is very fun. A lot of the times, you just don't need to worry about precise platforming as long as you have walls. And it's one of the only hats in the game that lets you interact with walls instead of ceilings or the ground. I could be wrong about that, but it's a wall jumping hat, so you know it makes sense. And there's a little bit of debris there that if you were to hit it, you'll lose your hat. And I convincingly get the best time for this level. I think it's world record too. And this segment right here is where I could definitely optimize time. Because I spent, I think, 3 to 4 seconds there. And then I lose about 3 here. So there's definitely a lot of time to save on this level. But that'll have to come another time. Maybe another speedrun contest. We'll see. And next is this level. I think this is the only level in Campaign by John 3. And I gotta say, that person's a hilarious player to me. There's a lot of hilarious moments in the tournament scene with John 3. And I guess a couple of stories people might tell too. But this level's good. It's a good time. And the gimmicks present here are also pretty good. Pretty readable as well. These spheres here are just simple bounce blocks, and then the bottom here is respawn. Good thing I can skip all that with jetpack. And then this next bit here is also pretty simple. You just get the key, which is a teleporter, and then you go. Now this part would be difficult because the level appears and then disappears, whatnot. But you don't have to worry about that once you know where to jump and where to go. And these spears, man, the entire hitbox of these spears, not the tip, the entire area there, hurts the player. And that kind of unfortunate trope is in a lot of older race levels, even newer ones too, where just the spike block in general hurts you. But here, there are no spike blocks. This is pure platform racing goodness. No gimmicks besides the Lua ones that unlock rooms here. And this is Clock House. I got the name wrong earlier. I said Clock Tower, but Clock House I think is one of Tungster's best levels. The movement is great. The routing for this level is really fun. You're gonna see a segment pretty soon when I unlock the second key. So once you hit that, you gotta do the wraparound, you gotta go back a little bit. And then after that, enter the third room, which is here. And it's right here that you hit your head below the arrow blocks to shoot you forward a whole lot faster. It's great, it's cool. And unlocking that third key grants you access to the super jump, which lets you just go through this segment. And Santa Hat makes the level a lot easier. I think I got world record time for this, and I also convincingly got world record time for this level. This is a recreation of a space level I'm forgetting the name of in Pier 2 campaign. And Bullets is someone who's known for many remakes of iconic Pier 2 campaign levels. And this one's no joke. You could also see some design similarities here from the classic Pier 2 campaign levels in Pier 3. Lone Wolf had that respawn teleport segment as well. But besides that, this movement I think is almost as optimized as it could get. Fez Hat gives you extra acceleration. Getting the stat blocks also boosts your stats. And after playing this level enough times, I knew exactly where I needed to be at the right place in the right moment. And also slow down just enough so I don't lose the opportunity to jump and clip through some blocks. And here I just skip a bit of platforming or positioning and whatnot, and then end the level here. Now, Alcatraz is also another remake of a space-themed level in Pure 2 campaign I'm forgetting the name of. But this one I don't do as well. And I think I just left it at that. I had a pretty decent time with this level, but it wasn't something I was going to try and get world record for. The main item here is jetpack, and if you conserve a lot of fuel, you're able to use it between different areas where you couldn't usually. Like right over here earlier, for example. Initially you'd have to get another jetpack to recoup the lost fuel, but conserve it enough just lets me ignore that entirely, save a little bit of time. And now I've used it all. So the last bit here, which is the hardest part of the level for me, is jumping just high enough to clip through the crumble block and get another jetpack, and then end the level here. And that level, it's okay. It's tough. Getting hit by those mines could be a little bit rage-inducing, but regardless, this is another bandana level, and this one is really fun with bandana. I really like it. And this level has a couple of gimmicks that you will be seeing relatively soon. It's this one right here. I give details here. Obviously, any level gimmick just gets desynchronized in replays because it's all just one static level. But yeah, these platforms move. Those down arrow ones are just push blocks that can only go in one direction. But these, I think they use Lua to move forward. They probably do. Or maybe it's like you bump it, which is, you know, standing on it, and then it moves forward. It's probably something like that. I could be mistaken it. And this, I don't know why I use a super jump there, because I could just jump and wall jump up there. But besides, I get a happy block, avoid those spikes, and then the rest of the level plays out itself. Unfortunately, I do get hit here, but I get my bandana hat back. I keep on moving forward. I say it to myself. It's not over yet. Gotta still finish the run. And yeah, I saved this super jump for way later in the level because I can just use my bandana hat to just, you know, skip parts of the level and only use the super jump when I really need it, you know? Like right here! I just skipped that entire segment there, which I would have needed a, I forget what I would have needed for that. But besides, I don't need that super jump there either. This detail should go without saying, because it's already on screen, but it's a cool level gimmick. And with bandana, I just skip more of the level, as per usual. Then it's not super jump, wall jump across here. So there's a lot of segments in this level where you don't need a super jump power up, where you originally would need one. So the rest of this level now is just basic platforming. I believe there's only one final section left that needs wall jumps, but after that, it's wraps. So these red blocks here will be removed upon hitting a specific block that's going to be up there. And after hitting those, all of those down arrow spike blocks are going to come flying down, and you got a platform over them. I think I say something about it here. I probably don't. But yeah, you wouldn't see and you wouldn't tell, but you gotta avoid all the spikes. And then after that, go back on the platform that's moving forward to the right, and I just casually sit until the finish. And I just wish that Santa Hat was able to skip that part of the level, but you have to hit the button. Now, I believe this is our first X-Guess level. He is best known for his Tilfeld levels and a few remakes of iconic Pier 2 levels. I think it's only one, I could be mistaken. But I think it's Creatious Race that got remade. And this level is also the only one where you're gonna see the winged helmet used, which extends speed bursts. It's a cool hat. It has a very niche use case, but hey, I at least got one in this video and it got a good time. It's so, you know, I'll take it. This segment here is always difficult at the end because it's a very specific one block jump. And here we are. This one's called From Night to Dag, which is from night to day in, I think it's, I'm gonna butcher this, I think it's in Portuguese. I'm definitely incorrect on that. But, oh, you know what, I was mistaken. There's two winged helmet levels and it's both from X-Guess. That's kind of hilarious. So yeah, these are both very movement-oriented levels, only using speed bursts. And this level could definitely be optimized, but I was pretty happy with the time I got. Yeah, there's a lot of zipping around. Once you've played this level enough in Pier 2, just playing it in Pier 3 is chef's kiss to me. Because I really like the way Pier 3 controls. I also like the way Pier 2 controls, just on a speed basis. But Pier 3, it's a lot more precise, a lot more compact. It definitely helps with all the game modes. But besides, now it's day. Now we're going to the finish block. And freaking Azzy-Bees. Sorry. It's past bad memories. The thing I'm talking about is a specific level hazard in this level that has been coined an Azzy-Bee. They move around spontaneously in all four directions at consistent intervals of, I think, 2 seconds. But sometimes they're just going to block your path, and other times they're in the most inconvenient spot imaginable, which is just agony to me. But I finally got a decent enough time here that I was just happy with what I got, and I moved on. This time was also really close to nudies, so if I just was more confident in my movement, I would have been able to make it. I would have been able to get a world record as well, I believe. But that's okay. This level, I still got a really good time out of it, even though the sides of the trees here hurt you, even though the Azzy-Bees can show up at the most inopportune times. Like right over here, for example. I never want Azzy-Bees in my levels. Thank you. But yeah, surprisingly, Azzy-Bees synchronize. So, I don't think they're very spontaneous. But yeah, that bit right there, if I didn't hit that, I would have been able to get the best time. And here, I do in fact get best time. This level is broken thanks to the bunny hat. You have to get through this segment, unfortunately, to get the super jump power up. And the bunny hat lets you double jump, which is very handy for avoiding platforming by all means possible. So here, I'm saving the super jump for a little later in the level. Still later in the level. And I believe this is one of the only times that bunny hat gets used. Now, you may see on the minimap that I'm walking on nothing. And well, this is meant to be an invisible wall to stop players from below super jumping up and getting skipping part of the level. Now here's where I use my super jump to avoid this castle segment that you'll see in the minimap to beat the level a lot faster. Now this level does not give you the ability to use a hat. It removes it at the start of the level, and I just had an awful time with this level. I really did. This is a very long. It doesn't have to be this long, because it could be as little as 5 minutes. Now, this is like Udgy's House of the Undying levels of length in from Ring Racers. The gimmicks are that the blue blocks in areas, I think, give you greater jump height, and the greens give you more speed. I think the pink ones let you levitate, and the white blocks there just stop your movement. Oh, sorry, they remove all of your buffs. So like the blue block lets you keep it for as long as you want. Jumping over that lets you keep the power up here. So I think that's about as much as I'll want to describe, because this level I didn't have a good time with. And there's not a whole lot I could really say about this level besides it's a huge testament to what makes a platform racing level. Because a lot of it is just level gimmicks. And it's cool. It's cool that Gas of Skyroyal was able to achieve that. I just was not skilled enough in mastering these. But besides, I would have liked this level a lot more if one mechanic that I think is a bug didn't occur. And you'll see it a little later that I get this pink power up that lets me levitate. I think it's coming soon. Oh yeah, I forgot. The cyan one just removes the concept of gravity. You're just stuck to the ground, or stay put. But here it doesn't make quite a whole lot of sense. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. What's meant to happen is that you have all these power-ups from the blocks that you hit, and you're meant to keep this until here, where you head glitch past the white blocks, and you see here, I'm just having a moment of silence to myself, because if I was able to clip through that 3 block area, I would be able to rise all the way up to the left and skip a significant chunk of the level. But now that I haven't done that, I'm stuck playing the level normally, which, man, it's just agony. Playing the level normally, as the developer intended? Impossible. And just to think that I'm already an hour and 24 minutes into this. I sure hope I've been recording. I have! Okay. I had to make sure. I didn't check whether I was recording or not at all. Man, that would have been so frustrating if I didn't record that whole time. But if you're liking the music choices I have, this is by intention. I've been wanting to show my taste in Flash game era music for some time now, because I was always a huge fan of Flash games growing up. Those were our mobile games. This was our mobile whatchamacallit. We had good quality games. We had quality Flash games. is what I would say if there weren't so many awful knockoff bootleg games. But anyway, yeah, I had a really great time with Flash in the past. I think that having a resurgence of Flash would be really cool. And I think it already exists with the Flashpoint emulator. But besides, I guess in the meantime, while this level plays out, I'll tell I would say humorous story. There is a time, not that long ago, I think it was a year ago, where I got someone from SRB2 to give Pier 3 a shot. And we were trying to teach him the basic mechanics to Pier 3's head glitch by playing a friend of mine named Tad, I guess, playing his level called Bamboo Heights. And this player could not land a head glitch for his life. He was able to do it a couple times at the very beginning of the level, but after that, it just became it was just struggling a fair bit. So what ended up happening is I think either Tad or myself pulled a black hole item, which brings all players towards the black hole, and through the nets, through the safety nets that you're supposed to head glitch through, this SRV2 player managed to clip through and make it to the other side. I think I have a surviving screenshot of this somewhere. But Tad and I were just laughing our heads off over that. It was astounding. It was baffling to me even. And I guess while I'm on the topic of that, I tried organizing yearly get-togethers with my SRB2 and SRB2 kart friends for Pier 3. I was thinking of doing it as a tradition, just playing Platform Racing 3 every New Year's, or like, you know, a couple days before New Year's. And you know, it worked for 2020. Kind of sucks that I didn't have any audio of any kind, but hey, it's still surviving footage. The one in 2021, I don't think a whole lot happened that was notable that I remember. 2022, 23 just didn't happen, and 24, well, didn't happen either. So it just kind of dwindled down. But I guess in 2023, I just played a lot more Pier 3 than SRB2 and kart for that matter. At the time in 2023, my laptop hard drive broke down to the point where it was no longer usable, and on its last couple breaths, I was able to back up all of my files from the computer. And after that, oh, it was done. It was done. It was one of those older hard drives that had, I think it was a motor running. That's none of the kind of stuff that you see in newer hard drives, that's for sure. So, after that, I knew I couldn't play any Steam game anymore on my backup computer. And Pier 3 was one of those games that I could just play on occasion, you know? And through that, I met Ice It's Cool and Tad, I guess, which I originally found from YouTube because I was a big fan of their videos. And I'll do a side tangent here. This is a callback to a level. This set piece right here is a callback to a level called the Golden Compass in Platform Racing 2. This level unlocks the top hat in that game. And there's a lot. It was really fun. It was really cool. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I was really grateful I ended up meeting Ice and Tad, I guess, because they would eventually become one of my closer friends. And now through that, a couple of Ring Racers friends and Ice, I guess Pier 3 for that matter, kind of joined together and formed a really strong friend group and friendship, which I'm really glad about. If I hadn't met anyone in both communities, I don't think that would have happened, which is cool. Cool that it did. So, enough about that. We're now in Reborn Campaign 2, which is currently the latest batch of levels. Now, the worms here, upon hitting the brick blocks, they're meant to pop out and be like a little platform. But obviously it gets desynchronized here, so you don't see it. But this level I optimized pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I really am. This one, I got an okay time. I'm happy with it. This level is very quick. It's very simple. This strategy here is good fun, because that lets you skip a part of the level. Just super jump in and then using a teleport. And then I'd say the rest of the level speaks for itself. It's just about playing fast and playing well. So I'll drink a little bit more water. Oh, I'm almost out. Alright, well, I've got about half an hour, or over half an hour's worth of video left. So, this level was fun to route. It's very simple, for sure, but being able to time jumps where you gotta go to keep and conserve your speed is very satisfying. There's not a whole lot of levels nowadays that are just long straight roads with occasional platforming. Being able to get that exact block that you need to hit to avoid hitting walls like this, for example, really cool. And now entering this fun house, I'll describe it as. With a bunch of push blocks, then going to the next one that's right next door, and going through these conveyor belts. I want to make a side tangent here. I really like the simple level art, using base assets like the tree. That Santa is definitely not a base asset. That's hilarious. But as I was saying, it's a clever use of using your base building blocks in Pier 3. And this is another instance of using bandana hat. It just saves a little bit of time, I'd say. And I'm okay, I'm happy with how this turned out, even though I think that definitely could be improved on. It's okay, it's good. And now, I didn't mention this earlier, but I've gone through another avatar change in Reborn Campaign 2. Now this is meant to represent myself, like, I'd say the era I'm in now, where, you know, I'm a lot more grounded with Pier 3 and its mechanics, and I always wanted to get the cat set. In this case, this is the cheetah set. I always wanted to get the cat set in Pier 2. I tried my hardest as a young individual to get the cat set proper. People were surprised, like, why are you trying so hard for this? And then I got it eventually. And the same thing kind of goes with Pier 3, but now I'm a whole lot older. And I eventually got the cheetah set, and I was really happy with that. I'm zooming, dude! I forgot about how fast this level was. My goodness. Bullhorns are no joke. But yeah, this is like kind of representative of me now being accustomed to Pier 3 proper now. So this level, I discovered a strategy with Rocket Hat, unfortunately, again, that breaks a couple parts of the level, like the very beginning there, but especially destroys the ending of the level. Now, I believe I save this speed burst. It might not be this one, it might be another one that I save for the end. I could be wrong. It looks like I'm saving this for a fair bit. Yeah, no, I think I'm saving this for the end of the level. And with the Rocket Hat, I just skip this segment as well. And hit all these arrow blocks, and now it's time for the fun part. Charge up the super jump, use speed burst, and avoid all the safety nets. It's terrific. Now I can finally talk about this level creator. Anakaya, I often mistake, or misname rather, as like Ikaya, which to me is kind of funny because of Ring Race's player that goes by the same name, but I believe I forget where, I don't know. I don't think I have it written down in my notes here, but they play on occasion, Anakaya, and the levels that they've made are also pretty stellar. So this level is also very quick because you just need a pair of angel wings to speed on over to the end of the level. And now we get to, I think, one of 2 Pizza Eater levels. Pizza Eater is best known for many Lua experiments and rollers in Pier 3. I'd say one of his most notable projects as of recent is a playable Tetris, I think. Could be wrong about that. But the most notable one to me, personally, is a playable version of Geometry Dash levels in Pier 3. Doesn't have the song, but it has the mechanics, the visuals, and the levels of a fair amount of base game maps. Now for this level, now that it's over, this level is tough to route because there's not a whole lot of optimization, but it's really fun once you get the hang of it. And this level, Electric Avenue, is also really fun and is made by Iset's Cool. I think it's one of the only levels made by him in the Pier 3 Reborn 2 campaign. He is known for his Idiot Test level, as well as Fishy Business, and for keeping his trusty top hat on wherever he goes in Pier 3. Sometimes he switches to Bounce Hat, but oftentimes no. He's known for having the brain head, the ghost body, and the Bosch shoes, and the top hat. You know, the brain head to ghost to Bosch shoes were a common avatar look in old Pier 3. One might call them industry plants. But besides that, it's a really fun level. And this level is a little challenging, I'd say. These are hazards some that shoot projectiles, I think it's the orange ones. And you can destroy those with a sword. You can only destroy them with a sword. And I used the bunny hat just as leverage to skip a couple of mandatory super jump segments, and also to skip a bit of platforming here, as you'll see here. Actually, I don't really use it a whole lot. I just kind of use it as a crutch for avoiding super jumps. Now this is a level inspired by Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and the level gimmick here is shown on that video there on the side. This is a terrific level. Here, the snow falls upon hitting that button, and there's going to be a segment later on where you're just standing on something and it moves. But yeah, I think I lose a bit of time here. Yeah, no, I lose a second or two. And I wasn't confident in getting a world record for this level because there's a lot of little micro optimizations you gotta make to still be at full speed with bullhorns, because that's the main shtick. You're on one direction for a long time. You gotta make sure you don't hit walls or anything, otherwise you lose all your speed and you have to build it back up again. For anybody who plays SRB2, think of it as Metal Sonic's Dash Burst or Overdrive. But yeah, no, this level's awesome. I'm a big fan of it. And this next level is no different. This is another really good level that's coming up soon. Back to back, awesome. Back to back cool levels. Well, here it comes. Neon City. I found a game-breaking skip after the level contest, which lets you use a parasol hat to just skip a majority of the level and hit the finish block, which I was able to do in a tournament after successfully convincing a tournament host to put it up as a bonus game. But here, usually, before that discovery, you typically use top hat to go through vanish blocks and go through crumble blocks as per usual, and just optimize movement. Make sure that you're not slowing down in places where you don't have to, and avoid hitting the mine blocks. Now, okay. I think after this level, I'm gonna be right back, but in the video, you'll see me come back right away. But yeah, this level starts great. I think the level with top hat is amazing, but if you're not using top hat, oh boy, I don't think you're having fun if you're not using top hat on here, which is a little sad and unfortunate, but that's just what it is. This level was made by Mist, who has improved significantly as an artist to the point of becoming a professional artist. I'm really happy for him for doing that, for accomplishing that kind of goal, as well as other crazy endeavors. But in A Rixie Escape, this is obviously inspired by Rick and Morty, but besides that, I think the level is a pretty fun challenge. There's a lot of cool set pieces here, like the jetpack one that's coming up right here. This often trips people up, but a head glitch or two always gets the job done. And then the lasers here, you can just avoid swiftly by head glitching as well, and avoiding those mines over there. Obviously you can't see anything there, but none of that's hazardous besides the toxic chemicals your avatar is consuming. And then avoiding these lasers as well. And I get to, I'd say, my favorite part of the level, where you have these speed lines as you boost through the finish. And now we're in Burning Data Center Escape. Funny story about this level. This one is inspired by an actual event that happened where the servers were hosted for Pier 3, where a data center that contained Pier 3's levels and whatnot was burnt down, or I think actively burning. Like something caught on fire, and then whichever building or spot or place that this place resided in got burnt down. And thankfully, there was backup data of all the levels that were made before that, I think. Maybe a few were lost, but it wasn't significant. It wasn't super significant. So this is what this level is inspired from, which I think is kind of humorous. I like it. And this level, this is the only time you're ever going to see Sharkfin get a good or even world record time. And it's only because your movement on water is changed to where like you're going through more extreme speeds if you were to ever get a boost. You'll see it right here. Like I just skyrocketed forward. And if you hold up, then your speed, like your vertical speed just shoots up significantly, just letting you get an equivalent to a super jump with Shark Hat or Shark Fin. And these shields last a really short while, which does get me hit once, but I think this is the only hit in the run. And this is where Shark Hat comes to play, because you see that? You wouldn't be able to do that with no standard hat. And then you just phase through this as well. Don't want to go up there yet. You need to teleport first. which through head glitching and avoiding everything there that was on screen, I get the teleporter. I think I have to hold right here, because otherwise I hit the other arrows in the other direction, and then I have to redo that section again, which is not good. Not good at all. So here, these red explosion blocks don't destroy themselves upon bump. So you can hit those as much as you want, and I'm nearing the end of the level. This is, I think, one of the only Tadaguess levels in Pier 3 campaign. This is a parody of hotel levels, which was a common level genre in PR2. And this is meant to be like an abandoned hotel lobby, because nobody likes or plays hotel levels anymore. And I have to say, Tad is also known for many, and I mean many, roller levels in Platform Racing 3. At the very least, he made an entire documentary about roller levels, which I have to say is pretty high effort. It was a really awesome high effort video. So with the mining helmet, mining helmet lets me save a lot of time when I'm on 1x1s, because when you're crouching, you slow down a whole lot. And those locks there, I unlock them by using my sword. And these are 2 mandatory head glitches. Any Pier 3 casual who is does not know how to do a Pier 2 head glitch, or head glitch in general, they're gonna suffer a little bit here. Now, I don't know who that me is, but Tad, if you're watching this, it'd be awesome to know what whose me's that is, because I definitely know it isn't yours. But besides that, I'm moving around all these crumble blocks, hitting the teleport. I could have hit an item block, because it could have given me a random... Sorry, it could have given me a random item, but it didn't. So, ooh, the tube. I'll get a drink of water first before I talk about this one. This level is a collab level featuring level creator Trash, Ordo9, Pizza Eater 1000, and Blast. I think I might be missing a few people, but those are the people I know off the top of my head who had a hand in making this level. So, unfortunately, again, the hazards are desynchronized, so when they should be hitting me, like here, they aren't. It's the opposite. And the steam that rises also is desynchronized. But besides, this is a really fun level. Even though it is quite brutal at times, I like it. What satisfies me most about single player challenges is, even though they're difficult, they're not annoyingly brutal. You know, like a really unfair kind of difficult. You see what's happening, you know what to expect. It's about timing, it's about execution. So it's cool. I like it. I like this level a lot. And you can see that the movement is, for the most part, pretty optimized. There's definitely a fair bit to improve on, but that segment's really cool. Turning to 180 and teleporting at the same time? Oh, that's awesome. Oh, you know what? I'm just reminded of something. I think another person who collaborated on this level was Gaster Skyraw, because there's a couple of blocks of his that are used in this level, which remind me a lot of his block art. Yeah, it's coming up right here. No, this is cool. This is a play on the bomb worlds he made, which is a Pier 3 level genre that I haven't talked about yet, to my surprise. It's kind of like trap work levels, except you have health, and getting hit doesn't spell do. Now this is definitely a Celeste kind of level. But after that, we're going to a name that I cannot pronounce for the life of me. X-Guess, this level's awesome, but I can't pronounce it. I don't know the language well enough. But this is another one of those levels where your hat doesn't matter because it gets removed the moment the level starts. I think I understand it. I understand why that is, but it just kind of sucks that it has to be in a campaign level. I guess some level designers really want to emphasize player skill instead of players cheesing the levels with easy to use hats. And you know what? Yeah, no, I kind of understand it, but you know, let players find cool discoveries and make use of them in ways that don't completely break PR3, like a rocket hat, for example. But anyway, joke aside, this level's pretty good. I'd say that there's definitely a couple of quirks about it, but otherwise, movement's good, platforming's good. It's a decently long level, even though I feel like I'm always doing pretty well. Now, besides all that, the reason why I'm saving the super jump here is so that I can use it later to prevent myself from needing a super jump. So that'll show up, I think, near the end of the level. And this segment is pretty fun, I have to say. These obviously speed you up because they're right arrow blocks. And X-Guess is kind enough to show you where those are so you don't have to just blindly guess. It's great! I'm a fan. So, besides that, the rest of the level is fairly, like, decent in difficulty. It's not really that difficult for me, but, yeah. There's only a couple of areas left until the level's over. And I forgot to mention, some parts of the level, you have extremely low gravity, where you're always rising up instead of falling back down. And that gets utilized a fair bit here. And this is where the super jump gets used. And after that, it's the end of the level. Well, almost. Gotta hit those arrow blocks first. And now it's the end of the level. We're approaching the end game pretty soon here. Going through time and space with Anakaya's time travel level. This one was really fun to play, and on the prehistoric part, I had a decent amount of fun routing it. This area here definitely felt like a pace lock, because once the water freezes up like here, then you have to wait until you can go through again. And when you have to go underwater a little bit and then rise back up, it kind of stinks that you just have to wait a little bit before you can go again. But besides that, I really like most of this level. This is the part I'm talking about, where I conserve all of my speed and just make it all the way to the other side. Not with the single jump, unfortunately, but that's okay. This is also a tough segment to do on first try, because that's water. Those vines are water physics, which is, you know, a makeshift way to have players climb, right? But that can easily stoop you up, as once you fall, you gotta redo the section again. But besides that, I have angel wings, and I think I hold them for a little bit and use the rest to just traverse this part of the level quickly. Because then after that, there's no real reason to save them, because I have another pair of angel wings right here. And I avoid hitting that item box because that is a sword item. And this is where I could have saved time. I could have saved time by using angel wings there. And then the last one, I lose a lot of time, unfortunately. And this is an unfortunate replay for me. Like, I enjoy this level a lot, but the strategy that you use to skip large portions of the level is painstakingly precise. Now, I use the bandana here to skip part of the level, obviously, but the way you do it is so it's so unconventional that I almost question if it's worth taking. But compared to third place, just doing this alone saves you so much time. That's ridiculous. Like, even though I got hit there, I told myself it doesn't matter. As long as you get this trick, you're good. And the trick I'm talking about comes right here, where I switch gravities, and as you jump, you collect the hat again. So jumping from a mine lets you boost up pretty high. So if I did that and got the bandana hat at the same time, then I save a ton of time. And it's surprising I forgot to mention this, but the gimmick at the start was you hitting the spacebar to switch gravity, which is pretty cool. But besides that, nearing the end of the level, there would be black holes on this segment here that instead of closing in on the player, it does the opposite. They push you, requiring you to super jump over them. And instead, I just use the bandana hat, get speed that way, then get sent up high, hit the block, and here comes another instance of one hat being used in a world record. Sorry, yeah, no. A single hat being used for a top level time. The fan hat lets you charge a super jump while you're moving, and this is used for a skip that's on the latter half of the level. And this level itself is really fun. It's quite challenging. It's very brutal, but practice makes perfect, because it requires you to have a full setup of super jumps, teleports, and also head glitching to avoid a safety net. That's probably one of the toughest parts right there for a lot of casual players. But the main thing about this level is head glitching through this segment here, where you're supposed to hit the rotate block, and you charge a super jump over here to hit the finish block. It's hilarious! Now, this level, I use Fan Hat to just see easier, and I think you could use a speed-based hat to save on time, but this level originated from a completely different Flash game I believe Jigman made called Congregate Racing. And I know this from a hilarious clip of Tad, I guess, and Isaac's Cool playing this. But I'd say this game was okay for its time. And I'm glad that it at least got some representation in Pier 3. Now, this level is also pretty challenging if you don't know what you're doing or don't know what to do. But with Santa Hat and exploiting a mechanic or two, you get to see the end result of crazy amounts of speed, skipping large parts of a level. So here it is. These fire bars, or I guess light bars here, respawn you, and this charges up your stats, which are meant to charge to just go through the level a bit quicker. But if you stand on it long enough, you just have crazy stats. And as long as you don't respawn by something, you are just soaring. So, like over here, you want to avoid the pink goop, but with Santa Hat, you know, I don't really have to worry about it. Like, It's just, I cleared this jump without a problem, with no effort whatsoever. And here, I have to play it really safe, because obviously, if I hit one of these, then the status effect is gone, and I have to play the level normally, which I don't want to do that. Come on, let me have my fun. So, I just play it generally safe here, and even though I don't get the best time, I'm okay with it. But now we're on the second to last level by Dr. Mario 98. So this is using a very similar block set as the cave level in Reborn 1. It's funny to me how the second level in Reborn Campaign 1 was a Dr. Mario level, and the second to last campaign level is also a Dr. Mario level. A lot of levels here. So, Veteran Item Rush challenges your understanding of a lot of the base game items. And I tried doing this with Top Hat because I thought to myself, there's a lot of time I could save by using Top Hat here. But what I didn't realize is this level uses a system that has crumble blocks, and if you destroy those crumble blocks, it unlocks, it removes like a lock for the end of the level, and once you complete all of them, then the bottom floor unlocks, which lets you beat the level. I didn't know that until finding out myself. So, with that said, I'm on the final few rooms here, and I'm nearing the end of this very long commentary video. This is the longest I think I've done a post-commentary video for. I don't think I've done something to this length. The most I did was a competitive ring racer set, which was at the very least 40 something minutes. But no, this is 2 straight hours. So, the music's quiet. It's ominous. Oh, there we go. This is the final Pier 3 campaign level currently in the game by Gaster Skyraw. This isn't the hardest level, but it's definitely final level kind of. It's got a final level type of feel to it. There's a lot of mines, there's a lot of vanish blocks, there's a lot of water, a lot of tight platforming segments. No mandatory head glitches though, so that's a plus. I used photosynthetic here because the level's long, so why not, right? There may be a better hat at some point, but for now, this is what I roll with. This is what most times I've rolled with, I think. And yeah, this level is pretty straightforward. I don't think you can get lost in it. Even though it looks like there's a bunch of alt routes you can take, there's really only one at the end of the level, not at the start. So yeah, knowing where these up arrow blocks are is vital to saving time on this area. And then with this, you know, avoid that really scuffed looking Tetris block. And then we got our final callback to Volcanic Inferno. I think it's just a set piece at this point. But you know, I've got the ring race's brain in me. It's like, oh, it's a reference, it's a callback to another thing. Jokes aside. This, I think I mess up one section that's coming up near the end of the level. But after that, I make it through the end. We're not there yet. And fortunately, Gas Skyraw does inform the player how to do a specific trick, like the head glitch. You can just walk forward. Some people have to jump a little bit to prepare themselves, but otherwise, I think I'm going to take this time to say thank you to those who watched all the way throughout my commentary. Some stuff was absolutely side tangents, others was more focused on the game. And that's the alt route, by the way. And I have another Pure 3 video planned for the future, but I think it'll be my last one for a little while. I've got a couple other plans for this channel I have in mind that I want to actualize. But here were the results for the contest. I won a lot of points from dedication and trying to get world records with my strategies. And here you can see how many hats were used in total. So I'll head out for now. If you like this video, please give it a like. But with that said, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day / evening, and I'll see y'all later.